3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for.
Dare I say that the Cortex stack is the best pre-made stack out there. We made it that way. We made it to be the best. It was a stack that I was using for quite some time, about a year. To be an entrepreneur and be super productive and kill it, I wanted a stack that I could take that was natural, that wasn't modafinil, that got me in the place where I was like, whoa, I want to work. Now I want to do it for a long time. And I've got a lot of endurance to do it, and I have a lot of motivation to do it. That is Cortex. If you think about a product that facilitates motivation and gives you drive and gives you focus also, you probably should be targeting acetylcholine, which this does, and the CDP-choline and the uridine monophosphate. But also, I think you largely want to target dopamine to get dopamine flowing and get it functioning correctly to get you motivated to do work, and that's what Cortex does via the combination of uridine and CDP-choline together. Nobody has put this in a stack so far together. A commercial, well-known pre-made stack. We did it, and we are reaping the benefits because people are loving the Cortex stack. Snagaboutlivecortex.com. You'll love it. Okay, so sulbutiamine. I pulled this out of my nootropics arsenal recently, just to sort of fuss with it, see if I can make it work better. Because in the past, I've taken it. I found out in higher doses, too high of dose. Lower dose is better for me. I've really never got it to work all that great for me. And that was sort of just kind of left it the way that it was. We actually considered sulbutiamine for the Cortex stack a little bit. We had it in beta trials, and we just couldn't get it to work functionally with uridine. In fact, it seemed to have an adverse effect when taken with uridine, at least for me and a few other beta testers. So kind of threw it away in that regard, but I took it out recently to try to fuss with it. I actually got it to work for me, and I got it to work because I lowered the dose significantly. But I'll get to that in just a second. Sulbutiamine is basically a blood-brain barrier crossing version of B1, vitamin B1, thiamine. And you don't hear about thiamine much in the nootropics world, and maybe rightfully, because it seems that thiamine is only used in situations where people have dire need for it, like they have some sort of a deficiency in something, or a heart problem, or they have some sort of unknown fatigue that they can't root to, like a virus like Epstein-Barr or gut bacteria or SIBO causing their fatigue, that it might just be an underlying vitamin deficiency, and B1 seems to actually be the culprit in some of these cases based on research. So that's kind of the basis for what people take B1 for. I mean, it's in a lot of food, beans, myriad of other foods, and it's essential. It's an essential vitamin for humans to get. I think it's pretty critical for brain function, for cellular function. Bacteria and yeast use it. So it's a pretty interesting vitamin, but again, it's not on the radar for nootropics so far. Sulbutiamine, though, was made to, I had this for powder C a long time ago, was made to essentially give the brain vitamin B1 in a much more bioavailable form. It's almost like the picamilin to GABA, because picamilin is this compound that crosses over the blood-brain barrier. That's essentially GABA, but in a much more bioavailable version. You're taking GABA by pill form, it's still going to yield a result, but according to research and according to people and according to studies, it has a harder time GABA crossing the blood-brain barrier. So they made this thing called picamilin, which crosses it over the blood-brain barrier and gives you the GABA result. Actually, I've yet to try that. I don't think I should get that and do a review of it. But that's essentially what sulbutiamine is to vitamin B1. So I took, 200 milligrams is the recommended dose on this bag. And, when I was experimenting with the Cortex stack and bringing things in, I had uridine in because I knew that was part of the stack every time. And so we put sulbutiamine in with the uridine, and I just got profoundly tired. I mean, I got profoundly tired, almost like I took way too much Noopept. That's what that does to me. The Noopept nasal spray, if you guys recall, we did a review on that, and I took 3 sprays or so right away, not knowing the conversion between liquid and then having it sprayed in your nose to powder, and it was way too much Noopept, and I felt super tired and weird. Anxiolytic for sure, but real tired. And that's basically what this did for me. So there's also a mechanism of sulbutiamine that works on the cholinergic system, So whether it increases acetylcholine, increases receptor site density, increases functioning of acetylcholine, increases release of acetylcholine, we actually don't know. I can't pinpoint that mechanism, and I'm not sure that it's out there. If you go research about sulbutiamine's cholinergic like stuff, whatever it does cholinergically, it's not well elucidated, so nobody really knows what's going on there. But I suspect it probably just cranks the production of acetylcholine up at some level, or makes it a more efficient use of acetylcholine, and that's why taking too much of it for me made me super tired, just like Noopep does, which sort of does a similar thing on the cholinergic system. Noopep is pretty cholinergic in that regard. So the thing is, though, is even by itself, when I take 200 milligrams of it, I just feel kind of weird and tired and slow. I don't get a nootropic benefit from it at all in that regard. It is a de-nootropic. It is an untropic, you know, for me, at least at that high dose. But then I started fussing with lower doses. I took 25 milligrams. So over the course of the last 2 weeks, I was fussing with it. And with 25 milligrams, I gotta tell you, I didn't feel a whole lot different from baseline, but I did feel a tad bit more motivated to do work, which was interesting. So then I tried to crank it up, and I fussed with a couple dosages to finally find about 80 to 90 milligrams of sulbutiamine, which actually gives me a noticeable motivation increase. That's what it ends up doing for me. You know, I don't really feel better verbal fluency. I mean, my verbal fluency is pretty good all the time. I really think that taking Cortex for such a long time and taking uridine really improved my brain. We know that phosphatidylcholine benefits from uridine and CDP-choline as a combo. So I feel like, I mean, on days when I wake up and drink coffee, I have good verbal fluency. It's pretty amazing. But so it's hard to tell the difference there. But for sure, 90 milligrams of sulbutiamine made me motivated. And if you go and read about some other people's experiences with sulbutiamine on the web, you'll find that that seems to be one of the common threads. People take it and they just feel motivated to do stuff. They're like, wow, I'm kind of interested in doing work now. You know, I want to sit down and do work. And again, we don't know the mechanism, but it's likely a combination of its work on the cholinergic system. Because, I mean, look, cholinergics can make you motivated. It's not just dopaminergic stuff that makes you motivated. And how it donates B1 in a bioavailable form to the brain. So you can get this from, you know, whatever nootropics vendors out there now. I just saw NutriStop closed. They probably just moved on to a different company name now. You have to research it and figure out where they are. I think these companies keep getting whacked because they're trying to sell racetams and stuff, which I don't know why they're doing that, but whatever. And or maybe their merchant services companies are just being jerks about it, because they don't understand smart drugs. But sulbutiamine is on the GRAS list, the generally recognized as safe list. It's just a supplement. It's not a drug as far as I can tell. It's pretty awesome. I mean, was it modafinil awesome in terms of motivation, or like Cortex awesome? No. I mean, Cortex we made, you know, for motivation. That's why it's called Workhorse. But it's interesting. It's certainly noticeable, and in the right dose, I think people trying this can certainly yield a positive result of functional motivation. Sulbutiamine, my friends. It's pretty cool. Thanks for watching.